this computer. Okay. Today we are going to discuss the third unit of NVQ level 6 Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety Practice. The third unit is develop and implement effective communication systems for health and safety information. In this unit, we have 5 learning outcomes and 16 assessment criteria. But as you all know that we are at this stage, we are not doing any CPD learning outcome or assessment criteria. We will manage that in the end. So actually, what we have to complete in this unit will be 4 learning outcomes and their 15 assessment criteria. Learning outcome 1 has 2 assessment criteria. Learning outcome 2 has 6 assessment criteria. And the learning outcome 3 has 4 assessment criteria. And the last 4th learning outcome has 3 assessment criteria. To successfully complete this unit, we have to meet these 15 assessment criteria. Now moving forward, the first learning outcome is be able to evaluate health and safety information. Actually, in this learning outcome, the focus is on the evaluation of health and safety information with respect to research purpose. That what type of information we have to include and what type of information we have to leave. And then how we can effectively develop and implement communication system to interpret that information or to share that information. The first assessment criteria is research proposed and new health and safety legislation, codes of practices, practice standard, health and safety risk assessment, and control procedures. Control procedures and practices, technical developments and best practice in order to develop as appropriate to the organization, implement as appropriate in the organization. Now in this assessment criteria, actually you have to explain that how you are researching with respect to health and safety in your organization, or you can say your health and safety team is how researching on the information of health and safety. For this purpose, you have to explain that what type of legislation is there. So mostly what will be there, like if first of all you have IOH membership, IOH magazines, legislation updated subscriptions, HSC bulletin. HSC means health, safety and executive bulletin. You can add that. But when it comes to researching, here we have option, or what I have discussed is according to the UK standard and laws. If you have a proper system in your country or area where you are working, then you can also add that type of information as an evidence too. So in this 1.1, you have to let me know, or you have to explain here that how you are researching on health and safety information, how you are collecting that, and then how you are developing and implementing effective communication. And the evidences you can provide are IOH magazines, email, legislation, or you can say simply that any source of information from legislation with respect to occupational health and safety can be added here and can be used as an evidence here. Now, yes, Fahad, please.
For this question, 1.1, here in Oman, actually, I'm talking now about our organization or my organization, which I am working with them. We have a list of legals. That list of legals, can I add it as an evidence?
Yeah, you can add that, but this list should be updated, and they are giving information with time to time. They are not rigid ones,
Yes.
like which is not updated past 3 months, 6 months. It should be a document which can help you on the current situations or current what is happening. So it
Yes,
should be a,
yeah, I have the updated one, and even in our organizations, we are make it as a procedure actually, because this is a
and
legal
you are
requirements
using
and we have
that,
to follow it.
and you are using that in your organization as for the health and safety information.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, Mahmood.
All right. Thank you.
So actually, as we are using the code of practices here,
Mhm.
standards, assessment, control measures, the control measures, it will be along with the risk assessment actually.
No, control measures are not here. Actually, you need a sources of information from where you can collect the information as a overall, the
Okay.
information
So
on the
so so
management
this one,
system.
so
Yeah.
this one, the code of practices is more than enough, I think.
Sorry. Yeah, code of practices and code. Yeah, that are enough.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, teacher, please.
Yeah, Mr. Asad. So I was just kind of like have a little problem, because if we say we should provide evidence like code of practice, standards, and we know that these are bulky documents.
Yeah.
So if you want to provide a code of standard, code of practice and standard, a bulky document like that as an evidence, I think that is too much. So like this goes back to the same problem I was facing with the 4.1.4 in the number 2 that I was talking with you. Because if you want to provide these documents as they are, it's a bulky document.
No,
we
no,
have
no, no, no.
standards.
Teacher, just a moment, just a moment. You are discussing about 1.4 is typically legislative document, but here we have legislation, updates, magazines, bulletin, etc. It means that it is not a rigid legislation, or it is not a rigid document in which we have information regarding the health and safety law and regulation. We need some type of authentic document coming from these legislation, like updated documents, like the magazines, like the manuals, like the bulletin, because the information provided by these legislative organization will be good enough and will be authentic. So we are not focusing here on the legislation. We are just focusing the information, you can say, coming from these organizations or these laws. So we have to follow that and we have to work on that. And after getting that information from their magazines, their manuals, and you can say their bulletin, you can use that information in your organization for good practices, and you have to communicate to the workers.
Yes, I understand that, Mr. Asad, I understand. But I
Mm.
mean, like presenting now those documents as evidence. It's
No.
going to be bulky, that's what I'm saying.
You can't use 1.4 documents here. I have told
No, I'm
you
not
the
talking about
reason.
1.4, I'm just talking here, I'm not referring to 1.4 again. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that if you want to give, for instance, code of practice.
Yeah, code of
It
practice are
says,
enough. Because code of practice, what happened, that legislation is something else. Code of practice can be changed, can be modified. And once you have updates on that, you know that there is updated document or additional document, the modified documents are there to support this purpose. So you have to use that documents as a source of information.
okay.
Okay.
So yes, so my point is presenting that document as an evidence. So that's why I'm asking, are we going to provide the whole document is entirety as an evidence
Simple.
the contents?
Just listen, teacher, that you have a magazine with you, okay, and
Yes.
you have got some information, so you don't have to put the whole magazine's copy there. You only have to put a page where you can think that is the update or that is the information there that you can add in your coursework.
Okay, just a page. That's all I
Yeah,
want.
just a page, not the whole document.
Okay, so that means even the table of contents can be enough, right?
Yeah, just simple is that I am a member of IOSH, okay? So I just received an update from them that last year 66,600 people are having problems with, you can say, skin cancer due to sunlight. So there is an issue. So I have got an update on that I can communicate further. So this type of information you can use to communicate other people. I have just given the example.
Okay.
Yes, Fahad?
Yes, actually, in our system, we have a bi-weekly EHS coordination meeting.
Yeah.
And there is a one column in the minutes of meetings. If there is any change in the rules, if there is any new rules, if there is any new instructions, MD or whatever, even law or whatever it came from, can I add that one as an evidence also?
Yeah, if the information is from an authentic source, you can use that.
Okay.
Yeah, any information from authentic source, you can use that. Okay, now moving forward to 1.2, evaluate health and safety information for the organization, coming into the organization, flowing within the organization, going out of the organization. So here, what you have to do, you can see that there are three types of information running in the organization. The first one, that we are receiving information from somewhere. And secondly, with some activities, we are having some information in the organization are flowing, moving here and there. And the last one, going out of the organization, that we are giving something like in the form of output, like coming into the organization, same the sources of information I have discussed above, coming from the authentic source, that is coming into. For flowing within the organization will be TBT, you are discussing the thing, training sessions are there, so it will be flowing in the organization. And when it comes to the going out of the organization, then what you have third-party aggregation, information passed to contractors, like when you are sending information to the external stakeholders, actually that information will be considered going out of the organization. For this purpose, you have to explain that what you understand by coming into the organization, about information flowing within the organization, going out of the organization. And then your evidences will be, as I told you, HSE manuals, the IOSH manuals, IOSH updates, HSE bulletins. And when it comes to flowing within the organization, we have TBT, we have training sessions, we have review meetings, we have safety stand down, we have meeting minutes. And when it comes to going out, we have third-party accreditations, we have information passed to contractors, or simply you can say you should have evidence that you are sharing some information externally to the contractors, to the suppliers. So that will be 3 different sources of information do you have in the organization. Is it fine, please? Yes, Fahad.
For this item, actually, we have a list for all the information which came from out to in and from which came from out to in and from in to out. And
Yeah.
we have a transmittal letters, but it's not only related to the EHS or to the HSE, it's related to all the things in the organizations. In this questions, can I select only the information which related to the HSE? Can I put there, or I can put the full symbol of the transmittal letters along with the list of the information which we are receiving and the inlet and outlet information?
No. For this purpose, Fahad, you can't use other information. Only HSE documents will be accepted here.
Okay, clear.
Okay, thank you. Now moving to the second learning outcome, LO, be able to produce communication systems for health and safety information into the organization. Okay, now what is coming from that? You have enough skill that you can produce communication systems for health and safety information into the organization. So first of all, what we have, 2.1 assessment criteria, develop appropriate systems for communicating health and safety information relating to input materials, goods, equipment, services, and resources bought in by the organization, covering protective monitoring, health and safety performance initiatives, health and safety promotion activities, and reactive monitoring. So what you have to do, you have to produce evidences here, because you can't typically explain here. So in your organization, what you can say that communicated action plans from results of monitoring, delivered TBTs, training sessions as a result of monitoring health and safety promotion activities, committee meeting minutes discussing monitoring results, performance promotion activities, all you can add here. So basically, you need different types of means of communication you have to discuss here, but you should remember that whatever the evidences you are provided should cover both proactive and reactive monitoring. Okay. Any question on it? Okay. In 2.2, it is almost the same when we have a communication mean in the first unit when it comes to health and safety culture. So it is asking that 2.2 effectively communicate health and safety information to the organization using a range of methods. So first of all, you have to explain here that what type of communication means you are using in your organization, or methods you are using in organization to discuss or to distribute the health and safety information in different levels of the organization. For this purpose, for evidences, you can use emails, safety alerts, posters, newsletters, notice board. You can say that whatever the communication method you have in organization, like you have verbal methods, you have written methods, you have graphic methods, then what specific arrangements are there, you have to give the evidence of that. Like if you are saying that we have proper posters there, or we have proper safety signs there, then you have to give the evidence of that, what type of safety alerts, notices, or newsletter you are using for this purpose, that you are communicating health and safety information to the organization. Okay. Is it fine?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Now 2.3 is almost same there. You don't have to explain it because it is asking communicate health and safety information externally to the organization. That how you are communicating the information to the external stakeholder or external parties for the organization. Like what you will do, that you can how you can contact or share information with the external parties, like your contractors, like your suppliers. You will do emails, you will send safety reports, you will share safety alerts and newsletters. So what type of evidence do you have? You have to put here. Okay, it is just simple, but just you have to focus here that what type of evidence in your organization you are using for external purposes. Next, in 2.4, yes, Mahmoud.
Mr. Asad, the communication for externally.
Yeah.
Like if you have a multimedia, and you are sharing this information about health and safety by multimedia, it can be as evidence maybe for the stakeholder, outside parties.
Sorry. What type of things you are saying?
The multimedia, like you are using Twitter, Instagram, anything for sharing information.
Yes. What type of medium you are, Mahmoud, using in the organization for sharing information to the external stakeholders? You can add that.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
Can we use a company website also?
yeah. If there is update on continuously basis, you can use the company website too. If there is update on daily basis or in a week time.
Okay.
But do remember, teacher, one thing, that when it comes to website, it is just like that. You are not pushing anyone to go there, to that he can go there. You can't say, please watch our website. So the best thing is that you are conveying them through emails, through reports, through safety alerts and newsletter. Then it will be a good practice, instead of just saying that just watch our website or look at our website like that. Okay. Now moving forward to
That's just like additional source, not that is a source.
what, teacher, please?
I'm just saying website should be as an additional source of
Yeah,
communicating
that will be
external,
additional.
not as.
Yeah, absolutely, you are right.
Yes.
We can use as additional source, but it cannot be a main source. So being for evidence, for effective evidence, it is a main evidence. It should be a main evidence you have to add here.
Okay.
Okay. Now you have 2.4, maintain records of all health and safety information relating to input materials, goods, equipment, services, and resources bought in by the organization. In this assessment criteria, you have to explain first that in your organization, how you are keeping the records of health and safety equipment, goods, materials coming in your organization. So the information should be related to health and safety. So for this purpose, you people have different structures in your organization, like filing systems are there, like server structures are there, like online inventory portals are there, like you can say different regulations or contractor information or cost assessments. You can say you can have a record of material safety data sheets. So all the means you are using to record the health and safety information relating to input materials, goods, equipment, services. So you have to let me know. Simply you can say that what type of document controlling you are doing for materials, goods, equipment, services, and resources bought in by the organization. Is it fine? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now moving forward to 2.5.
Excuse
Yeah,
me, Mr.
fine.
Asad.
Yeah.
In this case, you mean how we are storing the materials? I mean, what you are mentioning?
I'm saying that in your organization, you are receiving equipment, materials, services, goods from outside. You are buying
Yes.
them, are getting from supplier, and how you are managing them in the form of documents, or how you are doing the documentation with respect to health and safety for these things. You have to explain that, and you have to give the evidences of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Clear.
So 2.5 is almost as same as the above, but here we have just a difference of activities. Like it is asking 2.5, manage the communication system for the health and safety activities of the organization. Now, first you are managing the things, or you have a documented system there for goods, materials, equipment, and services. Now it is asking about that, what type of system do you have for different activities, like storage and management of information regarding health and safety activities within the organization? What type of systems are there? So the systems can be same. How? If you are using an online portal for goods and services, so it is very simple that if there is any activity related to that, you have an online portal, then the activity will be linked to that. So whatever the evidences you have for the 2.4 can be enough for 2.5, but it should be realistic and it should be present in your organization with respect to this assessment criteria. Is it clear? Is it fine, please? Gentleman, just say hello, hi. Is it fine?
Good.
Yes.
Okay, now moving forward to 2.6, confirm that the health and safety culture and policy are kept in the forefront of the activities of the organization. So it is asking that health and safety culture and policy are kept in the forefront, that whatever you are doing in your organization, you are doing according to the health and safety culture and policy of the organization. Okay, so you have to explain that how you are performing different activities and you are considering the health and safety culture and health and safety policy as a foundation for that. You have to explain that, and then like you can give the evidence of training sessions. You can say that whenever we have a induction training session, first of all, the information we provide to our worker is about health and safety policy, about the health and safety culture we have in our organization. Secondly, whenever we have presentations or training sessions or reports, on the you can say in the presentation, in the start of presentations and training sessions, we discuss the health and safety policy. So in this regard, you have a training session, you have a TBT, which can show that you are considering the health and safety policy and the positive health and safety culture of the organization as a foundation stone for any activity you are performing in the organization. Is it okay?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay. Now, moving forward to the 3, learning outcome 3, LO3. Here we have the, what is it about? Be able to control the effectiveness of the communication systems for health and safety information going out of the organization. So it is saying that that you are using some communication system for the information going out of the organization. For this purpose, he is asking about that you should be able to control the effectiveness. Like you can say that you have developed some communication system for outgoing information, but you should have a proper control of that what type of information can be shared externally, but it is effectively helping them, not just giving the trivial information to them and not giving them the vital information, or you can say the appropriate information to them. So you should have a control. Like it is not like that you are sharing everything to the externally, or you are sending everything out of the organization. It is not a good practice. You should have a control that what type of information is effective, and you only have to release that. For this purpose, we have assessment criteria. We have 4 assessment criteria here. The 3.1 is confirm that statutory reporting of the health and safety information required from the organization to the regulatory and local authorities is carried out. Like as it's discussed, that the information required by regulatory and local authorities, it may be the statutory reporting is enough for this purpose, because you have to do the proper reporting to these regulatory and local authorities to compliance with them. Otherwise, these regulatories and local authorities, if you have provided you can say not enough information to them, they will definitely react. Definitely your operations, definitely your business can be in a problem or can be in a disturbance. So what you have to do, you have to do proper reporting. Like for reporting, we have a regulation, we call it RIDOR 2013. The previously it was RIDOR 1995 because it was developed in 1995 but modified in 2013. Stands for Reporting of Injuries, Diseases and Dangerous Occurrences Regulations 1995 for 2013. So with respect to that, you have to report according to the law, and other than that you have some accident reporting system there. So you have to report externally the effective information, not the rough information, not the irrelevant information. You always have to share the relevant, appropriate information to these external authorities. Then in 3.2, it is asking confirm. Yes, Mahmoud.
Actually, as per the companies, in each 3 months as quarterly, they are submitting a report for the authority. Like here we have VHS Center for the government. So, so quarterly we are submitting like a report for all the incident, LTIs, any dangerous occurrence, MTC, whatever is happening in the company, we are submitting as quarterly. Can I use this?
You can absolutely use it, because when it comes to the regulatory or local authorities, we are not reporting them on daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis. They are quarterly or 6 monthly or biannually or annually. So we will consider that.
Thank you.
Okay. And
Mr. Asad, in our organization, we are submit the monthly statistic. As Mr. Riyad said, it's included all the LTIs, first aid case, any work restricted, etc. Okay, can I add that one, because it's
absolutely
not our responsibility to report it to the government or to the authority.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay. Absolutely, that documents. Absolutely that documents.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Now in 3.2, confirm that the health and safety information of the organization is communicated where appropriate to trade associations, voluntary bodies, interested parties, and individuals. It is actually the first part, 3.1, was discussing about the legal authorities and the information provided to them. Now in 3.2, it is discussing about the bodies or association or interested parties who are almost equal to you. What I can say, simply what I can say, that there are mainly, there are different requirements in the organizations that they have to fulfill. So the main requirement is normally the legal requirements, and then where you have the organizational requirements, or you have a requirements of stakeholders, you have a requirements of interested parties. So that will be considered at second stage. So in 3.2, you have to decide that what type of information you can share to them. In this case, you have to explain that someone is visiting your place, how you are informing them, how you are communicating them, how you are communicating to any interested parties and trade associations. So simple is that you have a visitor inductions, you have inductions, you have health and safety signage that can communicating different things, and even to the trade associations, you can give them not a report, but you can give them some newsletter or things like that, that can help them to let, it will help them to know about you and your organization. Okay.
Yeah, but for instance, my company, we don't have newsletters.
Sorry,
so what can we provide? We don't have newsletters, so what can we provide to this
Yeah, if you don't have a newsletter, you should be sending some type of informational emails to them. You are sending some type of sessions or some type of manuals there, or not sending even what you want to say, teacher, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because as far as I know,
like you, what you, if someone is visiting to your workplace, how you are giving them access to your workplace?
giving them toolbox, having an induction.
Yeah,
To
so
give them
that is
induction.
enough. That is enough.
Okay.
Okay. In 3.3, ensure that the health and safety information of the organization for products, services, and waste is communicated to the stakeholders. Same it is saying about what we have discussed before. So how you can let them know through emails, through meeting minutes, through training sessions, that what type of waste you have in your organization or what product and services are there. So you can explain them through emails, through meeting minutes and training sessions. Now 3.4, ensure that the relevant health and safety standards and procedure of own organizations are provided to contractors. Now, what I have said to you earlier, that there are three different types of information or requirements are there. One requirement is normally the legal, the regulatory authorities requirement. The second one is the stakeholder, the interested parties requirement. And the third one is your organizational requirements. So basically, your organizational requirements are there, that you have some internal procedures there. So you have to communicate that procedure to the contractors. For this purpose, what you can do for contractors, there are two things: contractors induction, and secondly contractor meeting minutes will be enough to share the information, which is actually the organizational requirements, that this information should be shared with the contractor. Then you have two means to communicate them: first, contractor induction, and the second thing is contractors meetings minutes. Is it fine?
Nice.
Okay. Okay, now we have fourth one. In fourth learning outcome, we don't have to, you can say, we don't have to give evidence, because here it is asking some information from you. Like for just I will first discuss that what it is asking, or what is it for. So we have now how to develop and implement effective communication systems for health and safety information. So here he is asking that you should know how to develop and implement. When it comes to, it means that how much you understand, or what is your knowledge regarding the specific thing. So here this point wants to check your understanding, your knowledge with the development and implementation of effective communication system for health and safety information. So this purpose, we have a 4.1, evaluate the development and implementation of effective communication system for health and safety information. For evaluation, why? For evaluating the development and implementation, how it can be effective, how communication system can be effective. For this purpose, first you write there what method of communication will you choose in your organization, how will the audience affect your choice, like what will be the effectiveness, what you have chosen, what is the effectiveness of what you have chosen for this purpose, how will the information to be communicated affect your choice, then how will you confirm information has been understood. So how you will confirm that what you want to share with others is communicated properly, how you are making sure. So you have to explain in 4.1 these points. Okay. Then we have simply explain the principles and concepts of written and verbal communication, electronic information retrieval, storage, and communication system. So here, what simply you have to do, you have to explain what is written communication, what is verbal communication, what is electronic information, or what is the graphic communication. So after that, you have to write the pros and cons of that, like what are their merits and what are their demerits. So you have to explain that concept here, but this explanation should not be a bookish information. It should be an information according to what is going on in your organization. Okay. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Asad.
Yeah, it is fine, please.
Yeah, but what kind of evidence we have to put it here?
So, no type of evidence required.
Like written written things, it will be like maybe any safety alerts, maybe it will be like a information, like a
Yeah.
written thing.
Yeah, it will be information. It will be information regarding these, what you have in your organization.
And what about the verbal communication?
Verbal communication, like what
Training
means
session?
you are using, like you are conducting some training session, or you are just conducting some meeting, or you are just giving some information on the telephone. These are verbal communication. Is it okay, Mahmood?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Okay, now the last thing is 4.3, the last assessment criteria we have. It is analyze the external factors influencing communication systems for health and safety information, to include health and safety risk assessment control and procedures and practices, technical developments and best practice, proposed and new health and safety legislation, codes of practice and standard, health and safety promotional activities relevant to the needs of an organization, health and safety statutory reporting requirements for an organization, health and safety statutory information requirement for products, services, and waste of an organization, health and safety standard and procedure of an organization that are relevant to the contractors used by the organization. So it is just what we have discussed in learning outcome 3 is discussed here. So it is asking basically that you have to consider the format that external factors may influence the health and safety communication systems for health and safety. So you have to explain all of these here, that how it can affect. Okay. Hello.
Okay, say that.
Yeah.
So
What
that means
happened?
we have to discuss according to each of these points.
Yeah. What you have to do, teacher, you don't have to provide evidence, you have to explain that. Like here we have health and safety risk assessment, control procedure and practices, technical developments and best practice. He is asking analyze the external factors influencing communication system for health and safety information. First, you have to consider that what are the external factors are there. So how that external factors can affect these communication methods or means. You have to discuss this.
And there is no evidence required for 4.3.
No evidence required for this one. Anything else, please? So there is a something I was just missing it out. Yeah, use a technique which is called PESTLE. Just write there with you and use this technique to analyze all these. PESTLE. Yes, it is PESTLE. Use that technique in this method. PESTLE. And normally people call it like pest analysis.
That's political, economic, social.
Yeah, absolutely. That analysis can easily cover this complete 4.3 assessment criteria.
Okay. Technological, legal, and
yeah, technological, legal, environmental. This one.
Can you write it down in the comments, please, in the chat, Mr. Asad?
Yeah, bro.
Can you write it on the chat?
I can write here, like, yeah, in the chat. It is PESTLE, and normally known as pest. It should be capital all. Pest analysis. It will be like that. Is it fine?
Yes, okay.
It comes to my understanding that just a moment, just let me stop the recording and then I will discuss this with you people. And I'm going to stop the recording and I will share it with you and even on the YouTube. More stop.